But yeah, I promise if you are doing those things, your bench has no choice. Your bench press has no choice but to increase. Alright, I'm not gonna say that Chick-fil-A increases your bench press, but it does. Alright guys, if you're anything like me, you've probably had one main goal in the gym, and that's to increase your bench press. Get the best bench press that you could possibly get, better numbers, higher numbers, more reps, just everything about the bench. You just want a better bench. That's my goal. That's always been my goal, really. You know, I've always wanted to get bigger and stronger, mainly stronger with the bench press. I love the movement. I'll probably be doing it forever. A lot of people hate on it nowadays. I feel like a lot of people say it's not optimal and whatnot, but I can attribute most, I'd say about like 90% of my chest growth to the bench press and my shoulders, especially my front delts. I contribute all that growth to the bench press, and it's an extremely efficient movement for building muscle, and it's also very fun. You know, I love going into the gym, loading up the barbell, and doing bench press. It's just about my favorite thing to do. But yeah, when I started in the gym, my bench press was about 100 pounds, and I was probably around 120 pounds body weight. So, you know, I didn't start off with a great bench press, but, you know, a decent starting point, essentially. Since then, since I started lifting about 5 years ago, I put on 200 pounds on my bench press, which is kind of crazy to think about, really. I'm sitting at about 300 pounds on the bench press right now. You know, it wasn't all linear progress. I've made mistakes, I've hit plateaus and whatnot, but the main thing is, you know, I have gotten to this point, and I feel like I could help some people that are not to this point yet. Definitely give some tips and some pointers on increasing your bench press. That is the movement I do the most, and I'd say it's my most impressive lift. It's the main movement that I do that's focused 100% on power. I also do shrugs, which I go pretty heavy on, but my main focus is the bench press. Now, as for the title of the video, how to rep 225. This is kind of a generic title, but it just mainly, this video is just going to be about increasing your bench press, essentially. Repping 225, that'll just come with increasing your bench press. But before we get into all that, I am going to hit a chest workout, take you guys with me. Probably go pretty heavy. I've been going like pretty low reps last couple of weeks, so we're gonna continue that, take you guys with me through that chest workout, and then yeah, once I'm done, we'll get into how to increase your bench press. So let's go.
Beautiful, aren't they? No one even knows they exist. There's a monster inside all of us. Real power doesn't come to those who are born strongest, or fastest, or smartest. It comes to those who will do anything to achieve protect you!
Do you know how I hate the rain? If your heart is troubled, the skies will become cloudy. If you grieve, it will rain ever so easily. I wonder if you can understand.
Alright guys, just finished that chest workout. It was like an okay workout. I'd say on a scale of 1 to 10, probably about a 5. Like, it wasn't like great. Mainly like the pump, like I wasn't really pumped up. But I did hit a PR, I think. I did 275 for 3 on bench, which I don't think I've ever done that before. So I believe I hit a PR. But anyways, as for the title of the video, you know, how to start repping 225 on bench press. Now, I hit 225 about a year and a half ago. And ever since then, I've just been adding pounds onto my bench press. I hit, you know, 245, 255, 65, 75, and then 300. So kind of just been, you know, slowly adding poundage to my bench press. And, you know, now I can rep 225 for about 12 reps. And, you know, I've talked a lot about increasing your bench press on my channel or just getting stronger in general. But I kind of want to summarize everything into one, like, short little segment. In no, like, particular order, I'm just going to get right into it. Now, one very important factor to increasing your bench press is going to be your calories and your protein. Your calorie intake, your protein intake, how much of each you're getting in every day. Now, if I'm being honest, I only track my protein, but I know that I get in more calories than I burn, which is what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to be in a calorie surplus, which essentially means just that you're intaking more calories than you're burning in a day, so you're in turn gaining weight. You want to be gaining weight if you want your bench press to increase. Body weight has a pretty big, you know, it's a big factor when it comes to bench press. The more you weigh, the more your bench is going to be. If you look at like Julius, I forgot his last name, but he's like the world record holder in bench press. He's like 400 pounds, benching 700-800 pounds. And most people that have a good bench, they're just big. They eat a lot of food. You know, the next thing is your protein. You're going to want to get a gram of protein per pound of body weight every single day. So for me, I weigh 205 pounds, so I get 205 grams of protein every day. Maybe sometimes it's 200 or maybe it's 220, you know, it kind of, as long as you're sticking in that kind of range, you're going to be okay. It doesn't have to be 100% precise every single day, but just try your hardest to get 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight every single day. For most people, this is going to be the hardest thing, is sticking to a diet. You know, like I said, I don't track my calories. I just know that I get in a lot of food because I eat a lot of food. For me, I only track the protein. But the diet, most people just can't get it. They just can't stick to it. They'll go to the gym all day and then they'll come home and not eat anything. It's the hardest part for most people. But if you're not cracking down on the diet, you are simply not going to make progress. So you're just hurting yourself if you're not locking in on the diet. You just need to be eating a lot of food. That's all you really need to worry about. Eat as much good food as you can. I've made a few videos like full days of eating and like stuff like that. So if you want like an idea of what you should be eating, you watch those. But mainly just stick to whole foods. Milk is really good for building muscle. Meat, obviously, beef, chicken, turkey, that kind of thing. Eggs are a fantastic source of protein. Stick to the whole foods, but eat a lot of them, and your bench press will increase, basically just based off that knowledge. The next thing to increase in your bench press, it's going to be your programming. How often are you bench pressing and what are you doing when you bench press? I would say if you're going over 6 reps, that's probably a mistake if you're trying to increase your bench press. For me personally, in my experience, 1 to 3 reps is where I'm building the most strength. So when I'm doing my programming, I'm sticking to 3 reps most of the time. I'll do heavy singles, I'll do sets of 2, and I'll do sets of 3. I really don't go past those. That's really where you're going to be building that just raw power, is that 1 to 3 rep range. The thing is with that, it's really easy to, you know, your form to break down when you're going really heavy like that. So just make sure your form is really good. And one tip for bench press is you're gonna want to grip the bar, like keep everything as tight as you can. Like grip the bar really hard, keep your lats real tight, your legs real tight, because if there's any like loose muscle and you're pushing through like a loose muscle, that's where that pain is that's where you're gonna get injured. So keep everything as tight as possible. That honestly that's made a big difference in my bench press. Keep everything really tight. But yeah, as for your programming, like I said, lift really heavy, low reps, high sets. Do a lot of sets of low reps. That's where I've found my success in increasing my bench press. And increase your frequency. I would say if you're not benching 3 times a week, that's probably where you should be at. 3 times a week for bench. For most people, I would say that's a good frequency to be at. If you're only benching 1 time a week, your bench, you know, it'll go up eventually, but I would say up it to 2 to 3 times a week. Any more than 3, I'd say you're kind of probably not recovering as much as you should be. So yeah, just bench more often, bench really heavy, eat a ton of food, track your protein. That's really the formula that I've used to increase my bench press to where it's at now. That's how I've repped 225 for 12 reps. That's how I've found my success. Eat a lot of food, track your protein, bench really heavy, 1 to 3 reps, and bench more often. But yeah, I promise if you are doing those things, your bench has no choice. Your bench press has no choice but to increase if you're eating a ton of food, lifting really heavy, and lifting heavy often. That is the formula for success, at least in my experience. Yeah, hope that helps some people. It's really not like an easy thing to do. Putting it into practice is extremely difficult, especially the diet part. It's expensive, takes a lot of time. It's really difficult to want to do it. You know, I see a lot of people making a lot of excuses like, oh, it's too expensive, how am I supposed to do that? Like, nobody said it was cheap. Nobody said it was easy. You know, if you're gonna make these excuses for yourself, you're never going to achieve your goals. If you're always making these stupid excuses, you know, you're gonna get stupid results. So an excuse is just that. It's an excuse made, you know, you make excuses to make yourself feel better about your situation or something. If you really wanted to, you would crack down on the budget so hard. You would be eating rice, beans, you know, the cheapest possible food. You would make it work, but you don't, you know, if you're making those excuses, you just don't want to make it work. So you need to stop making excuses and just basically get after it. Hope that helps some people. And yeah, see you guys in the next video. Peace.